Welcome to another episode of Brand Lincoln, where we take a look around the Lincoln, Nebraska area and introduce you to business owners and influential people in the city. We are brought to you by Perch Merch. Perch Merch is a locally owned, custom screen printing and embroidery apparel shop that also specializes in vehicle wraps, decals, and all sorts of promotional products. If your business, school, or team is looking to expand your brand, head to perch-merch.com or call us at 402-217-5212.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Brand Lincoln. I am your host, Chris Beecham. I'm joined by my co-host, Henry Schmidt.
Hi, Chris.
And our producer, Joe Cruz.
Hello, everyone.
Before we introduce our guest, just want everybody to please like and subscribe on whatever podcast, what do you call that? Podcast platform you're listening on. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook at Brand Lincoln Podcast. Today in the Perch Merch studio is Kaydee Thunder, who owns 86 Bar Staffing. Hi, Kade.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Is that your real last name?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's what most people call me, so it was a nickname given to me in high school, and it just never went away, and most people don't even know my real last name, so I'm going to keep that to myself.
Nice.
Still badass. And you spell Kaydee, Kaydee.
That's it. So you can't mix me up. That's the nice part about my name.
Let's add some more E's there.
Yeah, a couple more.
D-E-E-E-E. Yeah.
And then, and you just blare AC/DC whenever.
Thunderstruck.
I do, actually. I substitute teach every once in a while. Last semester, I had weight training classes, so I would put that on and make them do like a little weightlifting.
Did you go by Miss Thunder?
I actually, everyone's gotten so informal in schools recently, so a lot of times I just let them call me by my first name.
Wow. I went to Catholic school, so that would have...
Never flown. Yeah, not a chance.
With Sister Mary Claire?
Yeah, I would have gotten my ear grabbed.
What's up, Mary?
Out. Yeah. I'll try that now if I ever see one. Like, in the wild.
Just at the grocery store?
Yeah.
They're out there. You just got to be looking.
I haven't seen one in a while. So... Anyway.
Great start to the podcast.
We're going to get canceled by Pius. We're not going to be welcome back anymore.
Gosh.
Okay, so 86 Bar Staffing. Tell us what that is.
Yeah, so we are an industry support. So we can go into bars and restaurants or private events and bartend or serve for you. So a few years ago, Aaron and Austin actually started the company. Out of a need post-pandemic, bars and restaurants were so short-staffed. A lot of us industry people lost our jobs. And so when restaurants started reopening, they were just short-staffed. And you'll still see lots of restaurants are still closed like Sundays or Mondays or something like that, or only open for dinner. A lot of that had to do with staffing issues. And so Aaron and Austin got together. They had this great idea of like, let's be essentially substitute bartenders, try to find some good industry people and send them in. And just really it was in an effort to get bars and restaurants open to, as close to 100% capacity as possible. So we are a short-term service, though we've been in a couple establishments pretty long-term just because they're still having a hard time hiring people that, want to do the hours, want to do the late nights, and can handle the volume and things like that.
So I used to own a bar.
Okay.
And this was well pre-pandemic, and it was the same problem, though.
Sure.
It's just one of those industries that it's hard to find good people.
Yeah.
And you do find them, you train them, they move around a lot.
Yeah.
And so I would have used, if you were around 13 years ago, you would have made my life a lot more easy.
Yeah, I think...
like a plug and play, somebody who knows what they're doing, and just show up, do it.
Yeah, my philosophy really is that if you're a good industry person, if you're a strong server, a strong bartender, you can go into any bar and restaurant and you can bullshit with people. I mean, really, if you can have those, if you can talk to the guests and just have a good time with them, it doesn't really matter what the system is.
No, it's all how you handle and react.
Yeah, exactly. they're not going to notice, or even if they do notice you fumbling with the POS system a little bit, you're still having a great time. They're not going to care if it's going to take a couple extra minutes for you to find the right button. They're having a good time. So we sought out the best industry people that we know. I've been in this industry since I was 19. That's a long time ago. And I co-owned a bar for a brief amount of time. So I went out and found the people that I knew were great servers, great bartenders. And I said, hey, do you want to do this? Everyone that I have on staff they have full-time jobs. And this is kind of the way that they can get their foot back into the industry without committing full-time to one place or one schedule. They get to make the money. They get to have the fun. It's just the service industry is its own little subculture. It's just very different than anything else you'll find. And I missed it when I was pushed out because of the pandemic. And so this was the perfect way to get back into it.
Basically, if the bar needs extra, bartenders, or not just bartenders, I assume, not servers or...
Bartenders are easier. That's kind of our main focus, but we do have people that are willing to serve too. I mean, I think that if you're a good bartender, you can serve and should be willing to. And
the companies the restaurants will call you up and get them in there. Is there ever like a fear that they'll like it too much at that restaurant and then just stay with them?
That is something that we've considered. We haven't run into that, though. Our employees love what we have to offer them, and they're happy to just...
kind of just float around and jump around.
But, every place that we've been to, every bar that we've worked or private event that we've worked, we've been invited back. They've found great value in us. And so when we are invited back, our employees are excited to go back to those places. They know they like it. On the flip side of that, if they don't like somewhere, they also have the freedom to not go back and find somewhere else that they like.
It's a temp service, just
just like substitute teaching. You're substitute bartending.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I'm sure there's both aspects of that. Some people that like to bounce around. Some people are like, hey, even in a work-a-while situation, they might try to hire that person on.
Yeah, we've definitely had bar managers and bar owners definitely try to invite our employees to work for them, and our employees are very open and honest with us about that. Like, hey, this person asked if I wanted to come work here. I actually told them no because I really like working for you guys and the freedom and the flexibility. So I think that's a huge compliment to what we're doing, knowing that our employees, they don't want to go anywhere else.
So if I was having a private party, would I call you up?
Heck yeah.
I need a bartender.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have done house parties. We've done, everything from weddings, backyard ceremonies.
Pool party next year is going to be
we will do this.
Yeah.
I would love a bartender there.
Yeah, and we're not going to provide the alcohol and things like that. You get into liquor licensing issues and all of that, but we are the expert bartenders. I mean, we're going to come in and we're going to kill it. We're going to have fun time with your guests. We're going to take that off of, you don't have to have...
Yeah, Chris is so tired of pouring margarita mix into his mixer.
Well, it's a matter of who's going after it,
Yeah.
And
sorry,
what's happening
Chris.
in that. Yeah.
Well, and we
just have mass hysteria going on here.
We do take responsible serving seriously. All of our staff have the 2 required liquor permits. We also have a food handler's permit. I don't know if you guys know this, but ice that's going into a drink is considered a food, so you have to have a food handler's permit.
No way.
Yep, even if you're not serving food.
Well, I guess
ice is
my
that.
wife at Blown, she has a liquor license, so they have to do that all the time.
Or the olives or the garnishes, like...
If you put a leaf in a mojito, does that count?
Well, the ice counts. Of course, a leaf would count.
Yeah.
Well, geez, I'm just asking questions, trying to learn here, Joe.
So, yeah, we've got all
Henry
those permits.
just became eligible to drink, so...
like last week, I finally got to try beer. Yeah.
He learned what a mojito actually was.
Yeah.
That leaf is called mint.
Oh. Yeah. Like the gum.
He hasn't had a real mojito.
No, like the cell phone.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
So how many people do you have?
On staff, I have about 20.
Okay.
Yeah. Austin and I are the remaining owners. Aaron, I'm so thankful for him and Austin getting the business started and the amount of effort and energy and passion Aaron put into getting this business up and running. He is off finding out what it's like to be a solopreneur, and I'm excited for him. I'm happy for him. I look forward to seeing what his journey takes him, where his journey takes him, and what he's up to. So, we'll kind of see how it evolves over time. And
so, is it is it a short notice thing? Or,
Yeah. So our private events, I mean, typically people know
in advance
what their needs are. We tell our bars, give us 4 hours. We've got
Holy
enough
cow.
people.
And you can.
I mean, if
you
you're
can make
really
it
in a
work.
pinch
Yeah.
and you're like, shit, what am I going to do? I need,
I had
one
5
extra
people
person.
bail
Yeah.
out tonight on Friday night or Saturday night for a game day. I need to get
Yeah.
6 people by 7 o'clock.
Well, and I know
that's
that-
what they need it.
Yeah.
Without them, the money is not going
Exactly.
to happen.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of game days, Husker season's upon us, so downtown's going to be packed, and a lot of bars will hire extra people, but then they don't have enough shifts during the off season to give them. So it's kind of this hire and unhire and hire and unhire. Whereas we can come in and we are the staff. We can come in. You don't have to worry about the paperwork, the onboarding, the permitting, all of those things. Like, we have that all taken care of. We need an hour to orient ourselves to the space, and then we're off and running.
Gosh,
So,
what a
that's
great
impressive.
idea. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Could I get like a stack of your business cards so when I'm at a tail or a bar during game days and they're understaffed and
like,
it's
"Here,
taking
call her,
forever, like
we can get
please call
somebody
them
here
so I
in
can get a
15
beer
minutes.
faster. Yeah.
I got it in.
Definitely. Absolutely. We're happy to do it.
So the one thing that I do not miss about the bar.
Yeah, the one thing.
Is, well, it's not as fun as it sounds. I know that.
It's definitely
But
exhausting.
It's exhausting, and it's your nights and your weekends are gone. Mm-hmm. So you have to have a lot of dedication.
Yeah.
And that, which obviously the people that you have are willing to do that.
Yeah.
Are you hiring more? Say a bartender's listening right now, and they're
Yeah.
like, somebody who used to be a bartender, you use some extra money, like that's.
I'm always hiring. I will
Spectacular.
always take a good bartender. I will never not
Do
hire
you give them
somebody.
like a test? Can we bring them here and do like, we just throw drinks at them? And not like actual,
Yeah,
throw
no,
a
I
drink
agree.
for them to make
Yeah.
for us.
Well, we should do
We're
that.
not-
I mean, that would make one for one
that
hell
does
of a day.
happen
Work
in
day.
bars,
Yeah.
so we got to see how they react.
Yeah, no, I definitely do my due diligence when I'm hiring people. Lincoln is a big, small town, so if I don't know them personally, probably somebody that I do, especially if they're an industry person from Lincoln, I'll be able to find out, hey, how did this person do for
Sure,
you? Or
yeah.
what's your knowledge of them? But I obviously interview people as well. And because I am so involved in the business, you'll see me at almost every event and at every establishment that we're invited to. If I'm not actually working, I will show up and just make sure that my staff are doing what they need to be doing, that the hosting establishment is happy with the service that we're providing. And I just want to see people in action, too. I want to make sure that they're capable of what they say they're capable of. So,
When it's one of your people, do they wear whatever bar it is, or do you have your own branding? I see you have a 86
yeah, we
shirt
definitely
on.
like to be able to wear our own brand merchandise, with the exception of a lot of times we'll work weddings and they're more formal events, and jeans and a t-shirt and chucks or whatever aren't quite formal enough. But so I do ask the hosting establishment, is it okay if we wear our branded merch, or would you prefer us to dress up for the occasion? And almost every time they're like, yeah, wear your 86 shirts. And I mean, people, a lot of times too, you'll walk into bars or restaurants that are very casual, and people kind of have their hair up in messy buns and look like they maybe just rolled out of bed. I definitely set a higher expectation for our staff. Like, hey, listen, you're representing this company. We are a new and growing business, so we need to have a good first impression. And I want people to look good. You feel so much better when you look good, and that's just my expectation. So,
What is the 86?
Oh, I can
I'm
so help it. It's a great name for the company.
We have a guest.
Sorry, I'm just
no, Joe, I want to hear.
Well, I'm just kind of throwing my knowledge in. I used to serve at Chili's for a few years.
Joe, why is it called 86 bar staffing?
Because 86, the code for if you run out of something in the restaurant. So if you no more breadsticks, 86 breadsticks, that means you don't have it anymore. So if you don't have any more bartenders, you're 86 on bartenders.
Oh,
yeah,
cool marketing there.
Did I nail it?
Love
Did I
it.
get it?
Clever.
yeah,
Is that right?
yeah.
For you?
You nailed it.
I mean,
Thank you, Joe, for
I
the
don't even know
informative
why I'm
answer.
sitting here, Joe. You might as well
We're
just
like,
trade me
yeah.
spots, bud.
So it's
Smart
it's
Joe
a code
is.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of industry lingo, and that's one of them. So,
Yeah, I love it. It's very clever.
thank you.
So
I
you
can't
said-
take credit. Austin totally came up
Sure.
with that one. So,
Good job, Austin.
Austin, sorry you're not here. But tell us then your story. So you said you've been in the industry since...
Yeah, I started when I was 19 years old.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
36.
hear your story.
Are you guys from Lincoln?
I am.
Yeah.
Okay, Bennigan's.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh,
That was my very first serving job. And I remember...
Henry? No?
I don't even
No.
think you were
Not
born
when you were in
yet.
a high chair?
Yeah, like 2000.
It's now the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yep. 84th and
84th and Highway 2, yeah.
the old Deuce.
And it was Florio's, I think, before that.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah.
Was it Florio's before that or after that?
I think, well, it was Bennigan's, and then I think it was...
Bennigan's again.
Yeah, no,
maybe-
Florio's.
I know,
and
Florio's,
then,
and then, yeah, whatever wing place is out there. Or is it Big Red now?
It might be bigger. I
think
can't
it's
remember.
Big Red now.
yeah. Jeez.
Well, it doesn't
Okay.
matter. Bennigan's was my very first
We just
serving
named a
job.
lot of companies there for free shout-outs, except for Bennigan's or Bennington's.
Bennigan's, yeah.
Bennigan's.
But yeah, I was fresh 19. I didn't have an idea of what I was doing. Somebody just said, hey, go serve at Bennigan's. And I thought, what the hell, I'll give it a shot. I was in college, and so I could go to class during the day and then work at night. And it was kind of the perfect setup. I remember my first week of training, Brian Bierman was the GM at the time. And one night, I mean, it was crazy busy. And I was running around with my trainer, and Brian goes, what's the special for tonight? And I go, my sweet face. And he was just like, no, but okay, I think you'll be
Classic
okay
Kaydee.
here. Yeah, I know. And I was just like, at
Put it
first
up
I
on
was
the
like,
chalkboard.
shoot, did I just ruin it? But yeah, no, I didn't.
Oh
and
my
so
gosh.
then from there, then Texas Roadhouse opened. And I went over to Texas Roadhouse. I was there for almost 8 years. I did every position. I mean, I started as a server.
Were you with the Roadhouse from day one?
Yeah, I helped open.
So
Texas
you
Roadhouse.
were managing my brother then
Yeah.
at the time. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That's how I met your brother.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I started as a server, moved up into bartending, had a couple kids while I worked there. So while I was really pregnant, I was hosting and doing some lighter load type positions. Went into management. I was a salaried manager. I also did their local store marketing for a couple of years. So I did all of our community events and partnerships were my babies, and I had a great time doing that. And from there, I have just kind of, like you said, bounced around from a couple different bars that I, did stay out for some time. And pandemic hit, didn't really have a job, was working for Lincoln Public Schools at the time. And after that, I needed something different. And Aaron and Austin invited me to come along this journey, which I was very grateful for. I am very grateful for. And here I am. And now you see me all the time.
So so Lincoln, were you ever a teacher? Is that what you went to college for?
I did go to school. My degree's in child, youth, and family studies, and I never formally taught in a
That
classroom.
and bars go together.
Yeah,
though.
very similar.
Pretty much, yeah.
They correlate pretty well.
Children, yeah.
Yeah, people act like children most of the time at a bar.
Yeah, and so I do still substitute teach. I'll go back to substituting this year for Lincoln Public Schools, and it's a nice job to have just because I can do that during the day. And as you know, most industry events happen nights and weekends, so I'm able to do that. And the flexibility between subbing and substitute bartending, if you want to call it that, leave me enough room to take care of my own family and be at all of their events. So,
And the substitute, I mean, I wasn't very ever nice to my substitute teachers, but it's no different than walking into a bar that
Yeah.
you're unfamiliar with in a classroom.
exactly.
Yeah, which one's harder?
Oh, the kids are way harder.
You
The
think?
adults, I can be a little bit more.
Blunt?
That's true.
Be
You're
mean
not
on-
going to
I
get
can
a
be
phone
mean
call
to them if I
later
need
from
to.
one of their
Yeah,
parents.
exactly.
Yeah. You can't tell that to a 7-year-old. Yeah.
Hey, you, get out. No.
You're cut off.
Yeah. No juice box. Got it. Huh.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy both. And like I said, it really gives me the flexibility. I've got a daughter who's in high school. She's a sophomore in high school this year and plays 3 sports. And I've got a son who's starting middle school. So my bathroom counter this morning was Old Spice deodorant, Axe body spray, Axe hair
Nice.
gel, whatever you call it. And I'm sure we'll be getting some beard oil here pretty soon, too. So,
Oh my god.
I didn't know Axe was still a thing.
oh, gosh, yeah.
Oh yeah. that smell when it hits you, you just go right back to middle school.
We had a very firm conversation about how much is allowed to be used because I'm not trying to like choke and die every time I go into my bathroom.
You're supposed to spray it and walk into it, not
axe. You just put that right on.
it.
Yeah.
I feel bad for middle school teachers with middle school boys. Like all of the scents and all of the noises and things. Middle school is one group of kids that I try to avoid, honestly.
Yeah,
like
what
really
age
little
do you
kids.
substitute for?
Mostly high school. Yeah,
I try to
mostly high
avoid
school.
all children, but except for my own. But they're grown up now, so it's fine.
They're on their own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's other people's kids. So what is your okay? Let's go to all your bartending. Tell us what your most unmemorable moment of bartending was.
Most unmemorable moment.
Unmemorable.
What's that
Is that
supposed to
like
mean?
the
If it's
unsavory-
unmemorable, then she'll forget it.
She doesn't want to remember it.
Yeah.
But
And,
I feel like
and
I said that. I was sounding smart with a big word.
Yeah, and then try again.
Calling me out.
any like shit shows or
Yes.
yeah,
Because I
just
know of some.
what the hell is
Like-
yeah.
Did you ever kick a guy
Yeah,
out?
you ever have to kick anyone out?
I'm sure you kicked lots
all the
of people.
All the time? Oh.
Yeah. I do remember.
Was it my brother?
It was not your brother. No,
Was
I
it
do
Joe?
remember. No, not Joe either.
You haven't bartended at the beer house?
Not yet, but we'd love to be there. Give me a call,
hear that,
Cody.
Cody?
Yeah.
No, I do remember a woman actually getting pretty rowdy one night, and I'm very protective. I don't know if that's a mother thing or just a bartender thing, just trying to keep a safe space for people. But she was being really mean to one of my servers, and I just walked up to her and I bear hugged her and I just dragged her out.
Oh my gosh.
And I think everyone was just kind of like, "You just did that." And
What was she doing? She was just like, oh.
She was,
I
you know,
guess
she was
this is-
intoxicated, and then she was screaming in one of my servers' faces, and I was like, "Oh no, we're not doing that." So
Game over.
Yeah, it was just we're gonna go now.
Oh boy.
I don't know. I kind of hulked out. For
And
a minute.
she just went with it like no.
Oh yeah,
like-
yeah. She left. Her brother followed her out.
Gotcha.
It was fine. Yeah. You know, I've seen her since, and it's just kind of one of those like we don't talk about it, but don't ever do it again because I will do it
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
You know?
Keep an eye on you.
Yeah. I see you. But
So for somebody who'd want to be like learn bartending,
yeah.
what kind of advice would you give to that? Because I mean, I suck at it.
Sure.
I don't know how to make.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have no idea.
I always wanted to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I've gotten those apps and everything that are just confusing.
Yeah.
But like, how did you just learn on the fly? Is there a way that you went about it?
I learned to bartend really at Texas Roadhouse. That was my first real high volume job and the first place I ever got behind a bar. What I loved about that is that they made you use jiggers are the measuring tool. So you had to measure every juice, every alcohol, every time. So you knew exactly how much was going in it. I would suggest that you find a place that teaches really by the book first. Once you get more comfortable with it, then it's a lot easier to free pour responsibly, not over pour or under pour. The recipes are correct. They taste the way they're supposed to taste. I know the Post Lincoln is a new local spot, and Jesse does a really good job of teaching bartenders how to pour correctly.
Where's that at?
21st and M Street. Jesse Foster. He's fantastic. If you guys haven't met him yet, I would definitely go. He's a beautiful space, too. It is absolutely gorgeous in there. So I would definitely give him a shout.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think he just actually put on a class for bartenders, and so they've received certificates and all of their permits. And
See, I would like to do that.
Yeah.
Even though I have no desire to be a bartender.
well, it's just fun.
It would
And
just- yeah.
it is fun, and it's a community. I mean, bartending and the service industry truly is a community, and you can enjoy the highs and you can commiserate in the lows together, and then you can go have your own drinks and unwind, and then do it all again tomorrow. So
I mean, if you watch like Bar Rescue, you
Yeah.
know, he teaches them in like 2 hours and they become professionals.
well,
Like,
yeah, but yeah,
you
I
could
would
probably also do that, give bars, almost be a consultant for bars at the same time, which as much as you know and as knowledgeable as you are.
Yeah, we've definitely been approached to do things like that, and I'm not opposed to it. I also really want to make sure that 86 is well taken care of before I venture off and do other things. My staff, I'm very passionate about taking care of my staff, and they know that they can call me if something happens. One of the things you'll find too in the service industry, and I'm not sure if it's gotten better because I've been fortunate to not really have to work for other people recently as a W-2 employee, but in this industry, if somebody calls in, I mean, people are nervous to call in because managers are like, damn it, now I'm short-staffed, and it just becomes this sore spot, you know, and then you feel bad even though you're sick or dying or whatever, and you're just like, well, I'm just going to go because I'd rather go than
you'd feel bad about it
upset.
For another month after that.
Yeah,
You'd think about it every time.
Whereas, you know, my staff, when they commit to a shift, they know they're going to show up. But I also understand that life happens, people get sick, kids get sick, cars break down, etc. And I always just tell them, listen, I don't care what it is. Call me, let me know, and I'll figure it out. I don't want them to feel that burden of, I got to work, but this thing is going on in my life that I'm not going to be good while I'm there. So
yeah.
Let me just take that weight for you.
And that's exactly what 86 bar staffing is.
Yeah,
that if
exactly.
your staff can't make it, that it's okay because we have another one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, we're really trying to take the load off of the establishments, and also I want to change that piece of the culture in this industry, starting with us. Like, don't feel bad about you got sick. Okay, let me know.
When I was serving, I remember not being able to make it in once, but then you don't just feel bad. They remind you that you weren't there for like the rest of the year.
We do the same thing here. Chris tells you every other day how you weren't here, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
He's not here every other day.
Yeah.
He's funny. And it's because he's out having fun.
I'm promoting the business outside of the shop is what it is, Chris.
Oh, yeah, well, I had no idea.
Yeah. Well,
thank you. And then
you're welcome.
I apologize for anything. So how would people get a hold of you or find you, whether they be somebody who needs your services or somebody who wants to be part of your team?
So you can find us on Instagram, 86 Bar Staff, and Facebook. You can also get a hold of me. I can leave you my contact information. My email is kaydee@86barstaffing.com.
That's
my phone number is
Kaydee.
Oh, yeah, I forget that people don't know how to spell my name. Yeah, kaydee@86barstaffing.com. So you can email me, you can give me a call, you can find all of that information. We do have a website as well, so you can find us there.
Let's move to your oh shit moments.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the good. When was like the first time since you've been with 86 Bar Staffing that you were like, oh shit, this is exactly what this town needs? Which is true. But like, when was your
realization,
your first moment? Like when you had probably, I don't know, an entire staff at one place.
Rosie's downtown last Husker season and the season before that. It was one of those situations where, again, they knew they needed extra hands on deck, but then wouldn't have shifts for those people post-season. And it was kind of the perfect storm for us. And we got in there, and, I mean, the first few games, we had 4, 5, 6, 7 sometimes of our employees there all at one time.
So you're outstaffing what Rosie's probably had of their own employees?
Yeah, they used their own employees first, but then, you know, obviously that's was one of the busier locations downtown, and
I can't even imagine being a bartender in that situation.
Oh yeah, it's like, chaos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos. You gotta love it. You either love it.
Yeah,
or
you either
it drives
thrive
you
in
nuts.
it, or
yeah.
Or
But
you,
I love
you
that.
melt down and leave.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So, but that was really kind of our first go at this thing on that scale, and that was definitely my first like, oh shit, we're really doing this.
Gosh, I'm still just jaw dropped. Like, such a great idea to just.
They should have this for wedding DJs.
They should.
They should have
Somebody should think of this.
Can you start one for screen printing and embroidery?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We need a
Not
heat
my
press
expertise,
person.
so I'll leave that to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's talking. Yes, 86 bar staffing. I need a bartender here. They're just going to be pressing shirts all day long.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really exciting, and you know, Rosie's downtown
Both
closed.
locations at the same time.
Just the downtown
Okay.
location. Yeah. South is a pretty solid spot, but outside of downtown on game days, they're usually pretty able to handle it kind of with their own staff. So,
Got it.
yeah. And bigger things too in Lincoln. I mean, we're at Lincoln Calling, which is a huge event
Oh,
for
sure.
downtown, and that was awesome to be asked to come be a part of that. Loved that. It was a fantastic environment too. I know Duffy has helped them kind of organize the alcohol side of things, and then we were able to get in there with our bartender.
So let's move on to the bad oh shit moment. Have there been any times where you're like, especially probably finding the staff is probably a whole nother world, but what is the time that you're like, oh shit, this is not for me?
I haven't had one yet.
Awesome.
I really haven't. Aaron and Austin were the greatest partners. Those guys, the three of us worked so well together. It's just Austin and I now, and we're figuring out that dynamic. But I tell you what, Austin behind the scenes, Aaron behind the scenes, logistically, that visionary, they really allowed me to go out and do what I needed to do. And there's just a huge level of trust. And so it just works. You know, when you find those partners that you trust each other and you know they're going to do what they say they're going to do. And if they don't know how to do something, they're like, hey, do you know what to do in this situation? I mean, we always have each other's back. And I mean, that's the most I can ask for out of this. Our employees are great too. I can always count on them to show up. You know, I've never had to fire anybody for, sucking. I mean, really, I've just been so fortunate. I mean, again, we're very careful in how we hire, but the people that we have on our staff really make this business. They're the ones showing up. They're the ones doing the job. They're the ones getting invited back. You know, I'm the person that facilitates it, but I'm very fortunate now to be in a position that I don't have to work all of the time. I've got employees that really want to work, so I let them.
Got it.
So focus more on that management.
I just didn't know if there was a place like that. I got this one, guys.
All right, bar guy.
Or like, do you have favorite bars to go to? Whether it be the staff or just the environment, or maybe it's
What are your top 3 local bars?
For our business?
No.
Okay, just mine.
Where are you going to go drink if you have a night off?
I love Lancaster's. That's a good spot. It's a long-time local bar. No food.
They have shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard, darts, pool table. It's a lot of neighborhood people, so you are going to see the same people often, which is kind of nice. It's their own. They have their own little community there. No food, but they let you bring in food. So they also do free pizza on Fridays from Lazari's. So 5 p.m., show up to Lancaster's. You're going to get some free pizza and a sweet bartender.
She was pointing to herself.
What has 2 thumbs?
Yeah.
The Post, I already mentioned them. It's a beautiful new space.
Yeah,
Jesse
I will
has
have to check that one
done
out.
a fantastic job.
You said 16th and M?
Like 21st, 22nd, and M. It's in the
Okay.
Telegraph District.
Okay.
If you know where the off-leash dog park is, it's right across the street from them.
Okay.
So they've got those apartments, new build apartments back there. It's beautiful. He features local artists, so there's print work in there that you can actually purchase if you'd like to. But he does a really good job he brings in Marcy from Sweets by Marcy to have tastings with her desserts and some different whiskeys. And I think he really involves local businesses, other local small businesses, which I think is fantastic.
Cool, yeah.
I think he's starting karaoke with a local DJ there on maybe Wednesdays. You'll have to check out his Facebook page to get all the details, but I absolutely love it there. It's beautiful. It really is. You're going to find your more classic cocktails there, but they also create their own. And like I said, he's doing some bartending classes. So for people that want to learn how to bartend, give him a shout for sure. He's gonna train you the right way, and then you're gonna be ready to go anywhere, whether it's making more classic cocktails or slinging beers. So. Let's see, where else do I like to go? One place I went recently that I really enjoyed the vibe was Vinyl.
Where's that at?
It is right next to Fleetwood, and I think they're related. I think it's the same owners.
Just under the O Street Viaduct, is
Yep.
that okay?
It is a vibe.
It's an awesome
it's
vibe.
So cool.
Yeah.
Very retro. The drinks were fantastic. I had the hot Donna. I could
I
drink
thought
that
you were
all.
about to say the hot dog.
Oh, no hot dogs.
Yeah, the hot dog
Donna.
there. It's a drink.
Yeah.
The hot dog drink, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely check that one out. That one's new.
So when you do go as just a patron to these bars, are you checking out their service, like knowing what you do 9 to 5? Do you
Yeah, like we
How are you
judge
diagnosing-
T-shirts at
Yeah,
Perch
yeah.
Merch. Well, I'm constantly now looking like,
Or you see a
your
decal.
embroidery's bad. That's crooked.
You see a decal on the back of a truck that the real estate agent obviously put on by himself, and it's not straight.
So yeah,
I am always looking for great bartenders and servers because I want them to come work for me. And
So you're shopping for the
you're
good
like
talent.
recruiting.
I am.
Talent scout.
Yeah, I mean,
Work expense. Write it off.
That's true. We can work for you too.
yes, you might have to because we are running very low on shirts. So, and I just hired a new person today, so we're gonna need to get people.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, but no,
But I meant I'll be
am.
our recruiter for good bartenders.
Yeah.
We'll make
yeah.
your shirts too.
Yeah.
But I'll walk around with your card and I'll be like, hey, you're pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah, but
Call
I'm always
Kaydee.
looking. I am always looking for good servers, good bartenders, because I do want to give them an opportunity to work for us if it's something that resonates with them and might
fits.
be cool. I also am, of course, always looking for opportunities for us. Like, how can we help you? Are you short-staffed? What are you doing about that? Are you having a hell of a time finding people? Is Indeed working for you? Is it not?
That's kind of a hard subject to bring up. Like, hey,
Yeah, because I mean,
Hey,
I can
buddy.
tell you right now, there's some that come to my mind right
Yeah.
now. I mean, I'm not going to say
That's
them.
okay.
But you're like,
And-
like I love this place, but
Yeah. And I'm never going to
Get your shit
try to
together.
embarrass anybody. That's definitely not my goal. It's, hey, how are things going? You know, and obviously I'm never going to do it during a rush either.
Yeah.
I'm usually going to notice and then go
Mm-hmm.
back and say, hey, you know, how's hiring? How are you guys doing post-pandemic or just in general? Because the restaurant industry does have one of the highest turnover rates. How can we help? This is, you know, we want to help. We want to be a resource to the community. Even if you don't use us, you probably know somebody that might, or you're going to have your own backyard party at some point and don't want Joe mixing cocktails. So
No.
we're going to call somebody that knows how to do it. Yeah.
you'll wake up struggling the next day.
Yeah.
yeah, when people are making their own cocktails, they tend to get inebriated very
Mm-hmm.
quickly because they don't understand like the jigger
Right.
thing, you know.
How
like
much
it-
alcohol is actually supposed to go in
Yes,
this drink
there's a reason.
versus how
It's
much
not
you
just-
want to be in it?
Yeah, it's not just a bartender being stingy.
Right.
It's because it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah. We want you to have a
taste
good time.
the right way.
If you're falling over and barfing in a corner, that's not very fun
yeah.
for you
Yeah.
or anyone. So we're going to make sure that you're having
Hear
a
that,
good
Joe?
time.
That is not the purpose.
That's not.
Oh, Joe.
Joe, I think we've been to a few parties together. We won't talk about that because I think it was...
Maybe
Back in the day.
might have been illegal. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mom, I never, ever went to parties when I was younger. Not one.
Not till I was 21.
Mom, I don't even know this woman, so
Never met her.
Yeah.
Not a day in my life.
why she's telling you these stories.
making it up.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, you want to go with your segment?
Well, our final segment, you kind of already answered for, places you like to, go drink at or hang out. But what are other fun stuff you like to do in our great city of Lincoln?
I love sports. I'm not like a super fan of any one team, but I think sports in Nebraska are just a hell of an experience. Baseball, basketball, football, of course, hockey even. I mean,
Yeah.
I love, my kids both play 3 sports, and so that's just kind of our family's thing is like, let's go out onto a field and watch other people and be inspired by the crowd and by the
Yeah,
teams and the
yeah.
camaraderie and just all of the things that you can learn from being on a sports team or just recognizing, the community that becomes family is really when you're involved in sports and paying attention. So
Yeah, that's great.
I also love, we've got a lot of little locally owned businesses, bookstores downtown. My son loves a good comic book, so we will go downtown and find comic books.
Trade a tape. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and also little local coffee shops and things like that. Harbor House is a great little coffee shop. I think they make their own gelato in-house too, and I'm a sucker for a good cold treat. So,
Very cool.
yeah.
I like a cold treat.
Bet you do, buddy.
He had a few cold treats yesterday.
Talking like gelato.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, a blue yummy works once in a while too. It's
Cervezas.
okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
thanks,
This is
Kaydee.
really
This is
appreciate you guys.
awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
I really enjoy the fact that you guys are highlighting kind of the little guys, because it's hard when you've got a much smaller budget for marketing and advertising to get your name out there and be recognized. And very fortunately, we've won some awards that have given us a little bit more of a platform too. So that's been fantastic to just have somebody outside looking in and saying, "Hey, you guys are doing a hell of a job."
Yeah.
So
Thank
here's this award for you to.
We should give away awards at the end of the year.
We should get an award.
No, we should give away awards like funniest guest.
Why would we give our award away, Henry?
Oh,
We just got it.
oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Unless it's like the Christmas Story award, like we did the leg.
The Ovaltine.
No, the leg lamp.
The leg lamp.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh gosh.
Anyway. But yeah, thank you very much.
Food for thought.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a way to end it.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Kaydee.